Welcome to Open Arms, an honest conversation about firearms. Hey everybody, I'm your host Brian Lockerman, and today's episode is brought to you by Praxis Tactical out of Thousand Oaks, California. And also, we are giving away a $50 gift card to Praxis Tactical. So follow us on Instagram, openarms_defense training, and get in the contest to win the card. Today, in the studio, I have the owner of Praxis Tactical, Kirin Stone. Welcome, Kirin.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for doing this show, man. This thing's been so informative to a lot of the people that come into our store. They know you, and all the safety and all the all the different things that you're doing to progress things and educate people. It's just been great.
I appreciate that, Kirin.
In fact, I brought you a bottle of whiskey over here. All right, who's ever brought you a bottle of whiskey on this show?
Look at that. He's bringing gifts. Hey, make that be a note to other guests. We accept gifts here.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Karen. I really appreciate that, buddy. Just to let everybody know about your store, when I first walked into your store, I was so impressed.
Right.
I mean, the way you set that place up, the way you decorated, it just was unreal. And you have a great staff in there as well. I mean, go in there and talk to people. They know what they're talking about.
Right.
I really love what you did to the place.
So there's a madness behind that. When I did it, I look back at the days which seem to be gone in a lot of different gun stores, where you could go to the gun store with your dad and meet the owner, and it was like it was a fun thing to do.
That's
right?
True. You're right about that.
And it was a family thing to do. We used to, and my brother would come and we'd go there and we'd talk, we'd laugh. It was a place where you can go and just relax.
Yep.
And I find so many shops these days so pretentious. So when I opened this shop, I definitely put the work into it. I thought about, hey, I want this to be a comfortable place where you can go in there and just hang out for a couple of hours if you wanted to and have that feeling, right? And so that's what we did as far as the construction part of it. I built the store personally myself through COVID, like alone, like the whole store.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in construction for many, many years and did that. So yeah, it's cool, man. I really like it.
I love it. I do. I love everything you did to that store. Now, I heard, from a few other gun stores in the area that they kind of had some problems with, signs outside and things like that. Are you getting any of that flack?
So yeah, we're definitely not only getting that flack from just around the area, we're getting it in our own building. So this is an ongoing problem with people's fears with guns and in safety with guns and everything else. So this is going to be, and I just think politically, this is just a tool that's being used,
Yeah.
all the time to try to turn people, against, good gun owners, and using bad examples that are out there,
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. You're a good business. You're paying your taxes. You're providing a good service to the community, and people still want to shut you down.
Yeah, and it's not only that. And forget about just that. You can't even advertise in places. Like I have not found one magazine. I haven't found, one radio show or any kind of advertising. And the odd thing is the city's with us. Like the city said, sure, put your sign out. We have no problem with it. But then you get 40,000 complaints about putting a sign out that says, and our sign basically says, safety, training, guns and ammo. I mean, we put safety and training first, and we still get that flack. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. Well, there is a local paper called The Guardian, and they accept ads from all the gun stores and things like that. Do you know about that?
So I've heard of The Guardian. Yeah, we're going to, I travel a lot, so I'm going to get a hold of them at some point and sit down and see if we can work something out with them and start getting into some of the, the papers. I mean, social media is a really good way of doing it.
Absolutely.
But again, social media, it's like you mention a price of a gun or you show a gun in a certain type of way or something, they're just going to pull it and then they're going to restrict your account and everything else. It's a very, very difficult business to be in.
No, you're right about that. That's why we're now on Rumble too, just for that fact that we don't want to be shut down with any of our videos on YouTube or anything like that. Rumble, you're clean, good to go. That's for sure.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I know there's a lot of hurdles for you having a gun store in California. And I see you brought an AR-15 here.
We did.
Now, with this AR-15, I'm seeing a lot of modifications. Can you explain? You hold it up to the camera and explain what's going on here?
So if you take a look at this is a Wilson Combat Protector.
Okay.
All right, and it's unloaded, as you can see right
Yeah,
there.
I cleared it too when you first brought it in.
All right, and yes, we've added some things. Now we have a light stick on here, so it's got a
Okay.
pressure pad on it, so you can, you you can manipulate that light, throughout your house or property or whatever else. I've also got a SIG red dot on here, and it also has a magnifier on it.
Okay. But what is this monstrosity?
Okay, so that's the thing. We get asked that question every single time. In order to have an AR like this set up, you need to have that fin, which is right here on the grip, and you also have to have a lock stock. Okay, that's going to make it California compliant.
Okay.
Now, it's a joke. So when people
Yeah.
come into our store, the number one thing people ask, why do I have to have that on there? I mean, I can't manipulate the gun. I can't hold on to the grip
It
properly.
looks like it makes it more dangerous with that on than with it off.
It
Correct?
does. It does. And so I have no explanation, from the legislation on why why this is on here. I think the way they're trying to explain it is the fact that this is going to restrict somebody from putting their hand safely around the grip and being able to manipulate the weapon. Therefore, if they're going to go out and do some bad things, it's easier for them to do that. But with this, it's much harder. Now, anybody who's going to go out and create that kind of evil, okay, they're not. It's one bolt. They're going to unbolt this. They're going to put a regular grip on it, and they're going to go do whatever they've done. I challenge anybody in any of the evil events that we've seen out there to show me one that somebody went in there and had this grip on there and did that type of damage. So they're putting this on here for good citizens. Now, the thing that's really disturbing about this, I was in construction for like 25 years. It's like taking a guard off of, like putting a grip or putting a fin on this grip.
Yeah.
It's like taking the guard off of a skill saw. That's basically what you're doing. You're making it unsafe.
Exactly. I know. It feels so cumbersome. It says you can't grip it right. It's not
and,
right.
and not only that, like this gun here, I happen to be left-handed, but I've got it all bandaged up. I can hold onto the grip this way because I don't have to put my thumb around here. And I happen to be lucky on this gun because the selector switch is on the left side. If in this scenario, this one is ambidextrous, so if you're right-handed, you'd be able to do that. But a lot of guns are only set up so the selector is on the left-hand side. You actually can't switch it over.
Exactly.
So in that case, somebody who's right-handed would never be able to shoot this gun.
No. Besides the fin, what other modifications does California make you do? Do they do something with the magazine too, or something?
So there's two different ways of doing it, right? So you either have to have a grip with a fin on it and a lock stock.
Okay.
Okay. Or if you want features such as a stock that is adjustable, a regular grip, then you would have to have a locked magazine. Okay,
Gotcha.
So kind of like a juggernaut system, where you will have a magazine that is only loaded by the interior, or you can drop the magazine by hitting a button, which is generally right off of the selector switch. It will crack the gun open, and then it'll allow you to drop the magazine. And you can put another magazine in, and then close it back up, and then with that little juggernaut system, and then go. Now, these guns, I've shot them both different ways. Again, if I have to use one of them, this is the way I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the fin and the lock stock, because you can set the stock at where you want it.
Yeah.
So you just have to deal with this nasty monstrosity over here, right?
Exactly.
So because the juggernaut system is, in the training that we do, we're crawling around, we're dropping our guns. This thing's going to continuously pop open. So if you have the juggernaut system on it, this is going to pop open. If you drop it, it's going to pop open. And rocks or dirt, or maybe say there's a nail or something that's on the ground, gets caught up in there. You then close it and you go to shoot it. Technically this gun could be a dangerous to your own self. It could blow up.
Exactly.
Okay. So all these systems, the way they're done, they're very harmful to people that are just regular citizens that are just trying to, protect their family. And go out and go to the range and shoot comfortably.
What genius came up with this crap? You know what I mean?
Well,
Jesus, it's unbelievable. And that's what you guys got to deal with right now in California.
We do, yeah.
That's too bad. I mean, some of the stuff they come up with, I just can't get over. And there's all the crap they throw into play, like the drop tests and things like that. It regulates you on what guns you could stock in your store and sell to the public.
Right. Now, the thing is this, then, a lot of the conversations, we need more gun control, right? Everybody's talking about gun control and what that is. I mean, if you look at, and I don't even want to get into that part, but if you look at the crimes that are being done by who and in which cities and with what guns, which are mostly illegal guns
Exactly.
that have been stolen and so on and so forth. But I'm not really opposed. I'm not one of these gun owners. Like here in California, we have a 10-day wait. So
Hmm.
you have to have a waiting period to get a gun. We don't seem to have a whole lot of problem with our customers for
Yeah.
doing that. They wait and they have no problem with it. So I'm not opposed to, mental background checks. I'm not opposed to a wait for your gun. There's a lot of things out there that I do think that are good for the gun industry,
I agree. I agree.
but I just think that these restrictions that they're putting on specifically here, we also have a roster here in California. You've heard of that, right?
The roster?
Yeah,
What, the gun roster?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
right. So the roster here in California prevents you from getting a lot of other guns that are absolutely, there's like no difference between that one and that one. And that,
I know well. One of our biggest sponsors for the show, Bursa,
yeah,
for example. There's only one Bursa
right.
that's allowed to be sold in California,
Yep.
yet the other ones are so similar, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Bursa said, we're not going to pay the money.
Right. And so that's really,
Yeah.
okay, what you just said is key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are we talking about, hey, we're trying to restrict California from buying all these other guns because they're unsafe or they're, going to wind up in a crime somewhere? No, these guns are exactly the same as something else. You just said the key word. It's about money. It's about cashola.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yep.
So what they want to do is they want to charge, I believe it's somewhere around, don't quote me, $50,000 on any little change you do to a gun. So if you take a Glock, say,
Mm-hmm.
and they go, hey, we just want to, we want to paint the slide pink, okay? And we're going to now sell a pink slide Glock that's Gen 3, even what we're allowed here in California. Nope, sorry, that's $50,000.
Yeah, because it's off the roster now.
Right. If they don't want to pay for it, they're not going to get it, and it's really about money. So here you have this state that is pretty much a blue state, right? But they will allow you to sell whatever you want here as long as you pay the money. So it's really about a money issue. It's nothing to do with the guns.
Exactly. Well, that's why a lot of gun companies say, to California, forget it. We're not going to pay the money.
Right.
We don't think it's worth it paying the money to you guys for nothing, really.
Right.
So yeah, I hear that all the time from people.
Right.
So other than that, now you are allowed to sell stuff like that, but to just law enforcement, correct? Is that how it works?
Yeah. You have to be law enforcement. And you're allowed to also buy a gun from law enforcement. Now, technically, it's not like a police officer could go and buy a gun, okay? And like say, take a 365, right? So if he can come in and buy a 365 XL, right?
Okay.
And then say a year or two down the road, he's done with it, doesn't like it, doesn't shoot well, he can go ahead and sell that to anybody. So somebody can buy an off-roster gun from a police officer.
Okay.
Anybody. So
Okay.
then you would technically have an off-roster gun, but that's legal.
Another question.
Yeah.
So say someone has an off-roster gun, but they bought it prior to the roster, and they want to sell it. Can they sell it to a civilian?
So yes, so if you're selling a gun that is a PPT, which is a private party transfer,
Okay.
you can do that with an off-roster gun as well.
You can.
Yeah,
Okay.
legally, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just questions that always been asked to me about California laws. I'm very fortunate because I have an FFL and I don't really have to deal with that kind of stuff. But as a private citizen, the stuff they have to go through, it's
Right.
unbelievable.
And the thing is this: these are not small crimes. I mean, they're crimes, so they're not small crimes. If you have an AR set up and you have a regular grip on it and you have a adjustable stock with a bullet button on it that you're allowed to drop a mag, that is illegal. Okay,
Mhm,
so if you're
mhm.
caught with that, that's a felony.
Oh yeah,
So you're a felon.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I know that they are strict about that.
Right.
I do know that. That's for a fact. Well, yeah, just bugs me so bad to hear this kind of crap for California.
Yeah.
But what do we do? We keep fighting a good fight, right?
Well, yes, we do, and we have some good people that are in there, and they're trying to change some of the laws.
Yes, yes.
And hopefully, some of those things will come through. It's going to be a slow. It's going to be a slow process. But one thing I would like to say about it, and some people say to me all the time, they go, "Why would you open a gun store?" I mean, it's so controversial right now that eventually all gun stores might be gone. My answer to that is this: guns are never, ever, ever going to go away in America. No matter what you do,
That's correct.
they're never going to be gone, ever.
Nope.
There are hundreds of millions of guns that exist here in the States, and they're here to stay. And I don't mean that in a bad kind of way. I mean it in a good kind of way. They're made there for our Second Amendment. We're allowed to protect our family,
That's correct.
from tyranny as well as from somebody entering our property who's looking to create some sort of evil.
Absolutely. I had a guest on my show last week. She's from Mexico.
Mhm.
And, they're not allowed to have guns
Right.
at all. And I asked her, well, who has guns? She goes, the cartel. They have the best weapons. They run the streets.
Right.
They run everything.
Yeah, I
Okay,
see
well,
it.
there you go. I said, that's why we have the Second Amendment, because of that, reasons like that,
Right.
and it makes a difference.
Yeah, I travel around the world. People find this actually pretty interesting. The fact that I'm a host and a lead builder on the Fixers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's we do some really good things around the world. We do all these big projects, and then with the community, and then we hand it over to the community after. So I get to see all these different places. I mean, we've been to Bulgaria, Thailand, all over, Mexico. We've been to Honduras. I mean, a lot of different places where we
Yeah.
see a lot of these different weapons that are into play. And then I see all these different rules. And, some people think, and it's funny, it's like every single country I've been to like that people are not allowed to have weapons,
Uh-huh.
but the government is. These are all these suppressed areas. I mean,
Yep.
these are where everybody. This is where the highest crime is. How's it the highest crime when you're not allowed to own a gun
Exactly.
in some of these areas, right? But it's
Uh-huh.
the highest crime areas, and there's a lot of bad evil in a lot of these different countries that I go to that have absolutely no weapons. So to sit there and say, hey, if we get rid of guns, all of a sudden America's going to become safe, and we're not going to have any catastrophic events that involve weapons it's an absurdity.
Oh, big time. You said it, nail on the head. That's kind of interesting that you do that, the construction thing,
Yeah.
and a show. Where can people see the show?
So it's on BYU. It's called
BYU.
it's called the Fixers.
The Fixers.
Yeah, it's a great show. Like I said, we do a lot of good around the world. Some people find that, and I find it hilarious because they're like, you're this guy that goes out and does all these great things for people around the world, and all these builds and help people out. Yet you own a gun store. I said, okay, so what's the difference? I said, what we're doing here is doing the exact same thing. We're protecting good families.
Exactly.
We have families that come in. I have all sorts of people from any party you want to name it out there, liberals to Democrats, Republicans. Everybody comes into our store. Why? Because they're looking to protect their family. That's it. It's a simple thing, and they enjoy it. I mean, some people hunt. I mean, there's all the other part of it and stuff. It's not just protecting families, but a lot of hunters come in. A lot of we've had a bigger influx in women right now in this past year.
Oh,
and a
yeah.
half. More women are buying guns because they feel unsafe. And we have you want to talk about a real problem? It's like, I don't even get me rolling here, but homelessness here in California is ridiculous.
Oh, it's out of control. It's totally out of control.
Completely out of control.
Yeah.
And what's happening is women are looking to protect themselves from that. We see it every day. We see homeless people stabbing, people down the road, throwing things at them.
Oh, yeah.
So we've had more women come into the shop and said, look, how can you help me? I need to figure out how to protect myself.
Yeah.
So we offer training. It's number one thing. That's our key thing. We will sell them a gun. We'll show them how to store it properly. We'll show them how to clean it.
Perfect.
Show them how to clean it, how to maintain it, and we have instruction courses on how to shoot and everything else. And we have I think, in my opinion, I've had a lot of women come back and go, man, if it wasn't for your store, because I've walked into so many different potential stores where you ask one dumb question and they look at you like you're an idiot.
I know it.
That is not our store.
No, it's not. I know that. And I've been to all the stores around the area. And you're right. Your store's amazing, dude. I just can't say enough about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, and our thing is really just to help. I mean, I don't, gun stores, they don't make a lot of money. You're not into this to be making a fortune. You're in it because you have a passion. It's something that I'm really, really passionate about.
That's correct.
Our store, the people that work there all have a passion for guns, knives, and everything else that we sell there. And, so it's an enjoyable thing for me. But no, I don't pay my house bills with it.
No, I totally understand that. But it's great that you're doing this, Karen. It really is. I really, really do appreciate what you've done for the community. That's for sure.
Yeah. Your show's been great too. I mean, you're picking up a lot of traction because people come in, I let them know about your show. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen it on Instagram and stuff. And you have a TV show possibly coming out, right?
Open Arms. Yep. That's what we're doing. We're going to be in front of 15 networks, I think, in first week of June that want to see us and talk to us about it. So hopefully we'll sign a deal then.
Yeah, we can't wait because we want to get that show. Once you're done filming it, we want to start running that in our store
Oh yeah,
on our monitors and
that'd be
stuff.
awesome.
Because the work that you're doing and just preaching safety, preaching family, and the Second Amendment is just something that has been going on for hundreds of years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
literally, and it's something that we need to protect and continue to protect.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the good words. I mean, we are doing it, and we're not stopping.
Yeah.
And yeah, this video podcasting that we're doing right now has really brought a lot of attention to the show too. I mean, we're getting calls from the California Republican Assembly. They want us to do to speak at their assembly on next Tuesday.
Mm.
We got, of course, the
Is that on the
VCGO.
9th?
That's the 9th, yeah.
At the Ventura Hall or whatever?
Yeah, somewhere like
I
that.
think it's at the Ventura Library. Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'll be
Okay, well
from
you'll
like
hear
11 to 1.
you'll hear me speak then.
All right,
And then we're also doing
I'll be the one heckling you.
there you go. We're also doing the VCGO meeting
nice.
on the 11th.
Okay.
So we're going to host that event too, which is this part of the CRPA, which is a fantastic organization. You belong to CRPA?
No, not yet. I just travel so much.
It's okay.
So it's
But
crazy.
if you get a moment, go on, just sign up.
Right.
It helps. That they are who fights for our rights.
Right.
Every time these stupid laws are passed, they're out there fighting for our rights. It's a great organization.
Yeah.
So we are getting a lot of exposure now that we're doing this, which is great. That's what our main producer Justin Bondi said we needed to do. Start really pushing people to the project, and it's working.
Nice.
So yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
So yeah, thank you for having us over here and
Absolutely.
doing this. This is something that anything that's going to bring awareness to what we do, I think is something that's really, really important.
Yep, you said it. You said it. Well, Kirin, thank you very much for being on the show. I'd like to have you come back. We'll talk more shop, and things like that. There's always things to talk about in this world of guns, right?
Yeah, I know these things don't last long enough, but we could sit here for hours. And
I
talk
know
about
it. I
stuff,
know it.
But
And I want to thank you once again for the gift. Beautiful. I love it. Man, I tell you, you might start a trend here.
Yeah, hopefully.
People start getting me gifts and stuff like that. I'm loving it.
There you go.
All right, buddy. Thanks again.
Okay.
Well, that's our show for today. And again, please go to our Instagram, openarms_defense training. Follow us. And if you want to win that card, enter the contest. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Open Arms TV. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell. And until next time, always remember, safety, family, and the Second Amendment. See you later.